Hey, so Glines from the Automator. It's another episode of what we automated this week with AutoHotkey. Let me switch over to my desktop. There we go. And I'll, of course, use Prompt Assistant. Oops, wrong hotkey. There we go. And this is just a placeholder. Sorry, my brain's not quite working yet. There we go. It's going to launch a bunch of scripts for me, including the one that searches across my computer. This one will move this down some, shrink it, put it in the corner just to help me remember that my webcam's there. Alright, 130 files found. That sounds about right. Isaias was back this week. We're making good headway with this one client on doing a lot of stuff for them. And we'll try to make some videos explaining some of the complexity we've been dealing with. And I'll confirm if they don't mind. We don't have to show specifics, but the current way that they go about releasing executables is quite manual, really complex and tedious, and our approach is going to just revolutionize, save hours, several hours, plus a ton of mistakes, plus help the clients. So I'm really excited about switching for them, but I'd love to kind of document the differences between the two and how much easier this is. So anyway, yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff with that, and they're currently, we've created a new version using a much more better approach, but we haven't switched to it yet for their clients. We're very close, but they get a lot of issues with scripts not working, and a lot of it is just the old approach was doing many more image search stuff and relying on coordinates and actual mouse clicks. And our new approach, I think we use UIA to get the coordinates when they have to send a real mouse click, and even though we're still sending a click, we programmatically get the coordinates of the button every time, or whatever it is that we're clicking, and that's of course obviously going to be much more robust. Plus a lot of other enhancements, and we're bringing everything into a central class because we have several different programs several different scripts that we've written that automate the same program, and yet those libraries and theirs are completely independent. And so when you update one, you have to go make that same change in the other one because you're still sending clicks to things and how you do it. So we're creating one library where we use it across the stuff. So that should really help them as well. It looks like that was the majority of the work. Apparently Irfan and Isaias last week, he did a lot with them as well, just getting them up and running. Some stuff with Danny. Danny's been doing, he's the radiologist that's programming with Isaias, and Isaiah does stuff for him, but he does a lot of his own stuff, and he's getting very good at programming. He actually had some issues with Claude this week, and then switched over because we have a backup where we use OpenAI. But then he said an hour later, Claude was back up and running. So it's one of those things when you're using a service, any sort of service, it can have some downtime. So make sure you have a way to restore and still accomplish your goals. Some more stuff for Jeff. Alright, so this is the end. Here we go. Pack up. So this, why is that in there? That's a weird spot for it. Wow, that's weird. And it's blank, because it should show up here. So apparently I put the file there, but then I maybe moved it. Pack up, it reminds me, I called it that because in AHK Studio, there was a way where you could say, hey, my file has a file with includes in different places, and I want to share this with you, but I don't want to have to manually grab each of those files. So I believe it was called Pack Up in AutoHotkey Studio. You could hit a hotkey, and it would go read all those files, concatenate in the clipboard everything, but you could just paste somewhere, and it made it very easy. And so I asked Claude or Grok, I forget which one, to create a tool that would do this, and it got very close. It used, if we gave it a normal path with the full path instead of just the brackets, it created one for that, and then I went back and said, hey, sometimes we use the brackets and you have to look at these different places for that function. So it programmed around it and fixed that. So that's something we'll be releasing in a while. But when you are working with AI, usually when you give it your scripts, you need to give it everything at once, not separate files, because it just takes much more time. So that's why I wanted a simple tool to do that, because normally you want to keep those files separate, right? And then I told the AI tool to, hey, give the location of where this file was in the clipboard where you're putting everything. That way we know if we do go back to update things that had changed, we know where it is. What is going on with this script? This is weird. I should reboot also, by the way. Yeah, there's something weird. Looks like it jumped up a bit. Okay, now it's not reacting. That is so weird. So, I don't know what is going on with this thing, but I am going to launch my AutoHotkey Task Manager. And now that, what? I think some of my keys are stuck. I can't seem to hit the C. It seems like the apps key was stuck down. Man, maybe that was actually causing some. There we go. Let's see if this will work to end it. Yes, there we go. And actually, well, tools. I'm going to jump because if I hit restart that, it's going to reopen all those other things. Sort of S drive. Recently modified files. Again, because this is its own script. In Prompt Assistant, I'm launching mini scripts. So it's going to rerun it. I'm sorry about that. These things do happen. Should still have the 130. I think that apps key being down is what the issue was. I'm hoping. Hotkey string lookup. So during the hero call, we were talking through this. Also, the hotkey string lookup tool. We made some minor changes to our Excel function library. I don't think, well, this was for a client, but we need to backport some of the things that we did for him into our library. But also, a very interesting thing which we discussed in the hero call was during the client call, AJ had a way where he was sending keystrokes to do several steps, but they were multiple keystrokes, and the keystrokes were sending hotkeys in Excel, and that's kind of the exception. We don't like sending keystrokes, but if you're sending built-in hotkeys, that's pretty reliable. However, because we were sending multiple, we were sending, like something to bring up the context menu and then sending another key to do stuff and doing some sorting and things and sorting in different orders. We said, hey, COM is going to be better for you. Well, AJ said, yeah, it would be, but I can't undo when I use COM, which is, we're like, yeah, that we know, we've run into that, but we said maybe we can add what we do with COM into the undo history, so we can still use COM, but then enable undo. So Isaiah looked into it and found out that the COM object was built purposely in Excel, how they use it, to not track, you can't do undo. And not only that, but when you start using COM, it kills your history, which is crazy. Because like, well, we don't know what you did with COM. Which, okay, we understand that, but why delete the history? That seems weird. So we need to talk to AJ if he wants to stick with the hotkeys. He probably does, knowing that. But yeah, that was interesting. There were a couple sorts that he was doing that I thought, hey, we should have some of that in our library. Check for multi-match. Oh, this was one we were talking about at our Automator spy tool. Let me bring that up. During the hero call, let me just click on something. Actually, I'll do Notepad. So I'm going to make one and another instance of Notepad. So now I have two notepads open, right? There's this one and this one. And when I hit my hotkey, we were able to identify this notepad, and this is how we might connect to it. But what this doesn't tell you right here is there's actually two programs that would match. If you use this for your targeting, there are two things that would match this. So that's what I was trying to demo in this script. See if I can double click it. Should actually alt click it, I think opens the folder. Yeah. So we're going to edit it. Check for multi-match. Here we go. And what I was doing, let's see if this will actually do it. But the problem was, how do we figure out which one we want to do? But more importantly, I want to have an alert here that basically says next to each one of these, I think what we're going to do is we're going to move this over a bit, and we're going to have a count right next to this of how many instances of this match that criteria, to let you know, hey, there's two things that match this, and there's two things. Now, we're not saying that these two combine, and maybe we would have a third one that says this and this. Maybe that's how we would do that. But there's one or more of these. It's a really, really important thing to know, right? Because we spent a good 20 minutes in the hero group we were connecting to the wrong program and didn't realize it. I think it was with everything, there was more than one GUI, more than one window for everything, and we had the wrong handle to the wrong program. And if there had been a number here to indicate there's more than one executable for everything exe, I forget what the executable is, but that would have been really helpful. So we're going to probably move this over a little, just have a number sitting here. Maybe we'll have a mouse over. When you move your mouse over, it'll say, hey, there's 2 instances or 3 instances of this, right? But yeah, I think that's going to be a great addition to that. But it was a really good lesson learned as well, of course, remembering that there can be multiple instances of your match, and nothing tells you that. So it'd be great to do that. I don't remember making a change to clone speed. Oh, I think I just demoed it, and of course that changes the script. We can imitate people that we've cloned their voices to. Check if users... So this one, we haven't released it yet. Here's a simplified version, but basically it's a message box that says, if you run it, if I double-click this, it should come back as a 1, because I am an admin. So we have a programmatic way to detect if you're an admin or not. This is handy because for one of our clients, they're running a lot of stuff on the remote computers, and we want to disable the Windows Update while we're doing our stuff so it doesn't interfere with us. And you can only disable Windows Updates programmatically if you're an admin, but we didn't have anything that let us know if you're an admin or not. So this is a great, simple function, which we'll release at some point on the Automator, on a way to check if you're an admin or not. I tried having it use a standard out so it didn't write to a file, and every time I would do that, but it was always pushing up a flash of a window. And Isaiah mentioned something, he knew how we could get around that. Because when I don't have to write to a file, I'd rather not to, right? If I can do it all in memory. This one wrote to a file and then we read it. Oh, he was using piping. Isaiah suggested using piping to pipe it to instead of pushing it to a file, we could pipe it into the clipboard and then check the clipboard. So that's what we'll do on this one, and that way we don't even create the file, we just programmatically detect it, so that'll be cool. Resolve drive, this one I was showing, we have a new hire, Denelson, and he's very good at like PHP and WordPress and things, and he programs an auto. He has a channel, an AutoHotkey channel. It's how I met him. Boy, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a while. He's in Brazil, and he does more PHP and WordPress stuff, but he is learning AutoHotkey classes and things, and so he's starting out part-time, but we're going to merge him in more, and it'll enable us to do more website stuff, which is great. Anyway, I was showing him this one, setting him up with the S drive, so he has an S drive also with all the same files. Easily drag and drop. This one was actually from AJ. There was a V1, he had a V1 version, and he wanted to kind of switch everything to V2, and so I just asked Claude to convert it, and it did perfectly. Thank you, Claude. Here was the create undo. I was trying different things to see if I could find a way, whether it could be VBA or with AutoHotkey, to enable undoing with that COM object, and that was during the call, and then Isaiah later did research on it and just found yeah, we're not going to be able to do that. We could take a static snapshot of the spreadsheet, save it, and then basically what I would say is clone it, and then in the clone version, go do what we want, and that way we still have the undo in the original, and then he could, if he likes what it did, he could switch to the other and lose the undo, but at least it gives him the option to not lose all the undo functionality. But yeah, that's probably overkill. This file search tool, let me go ahead and see if that'll run. I was showing the guys, I used Grok and Claude for this one, and what it allows you to do is, let's say, Taco, and I'm going to look for pictures, and we'll search the C drive. Search. It's going to open this window, but what's cool is I can choose file formats. I can choose a date modified, so I can add that. That should do both. And a file size, let's say, is, boy, I wouldn't know. I'd probably say in here medium. It looks like it. Oh, yep, lots of pictures. I'm helping a local Mexican restaurant. But what I'm trying to do is to build a tool that is simpler. Anything is simpler than the Explorer search tool, but I want to have a GUI that allows me to do this. But what I'm going to do is we're going to make this. Oh, look at that! I can. Oh, that's awesome. So what I want to end up doing is basically having this in connection with this on the same GUI. So the search results are just to the right. Here I can choose any of these. And give a much simpler search tool, because the Explorer search tool is crazy powerful, but you have to remember how to use it. So AI generated this entire tool for me. I honestly haven't even looked at how it's running. Really cool. AI is getting very, very good. I've used Claude and Grok recently a lot. OpenAI, even though I'm a paying member, for V2 AutoHotkey code, I still don't trust it. I use Grok or Claude. GetActivePath. This is another one I haven't tried it yet. GetActivePath, we all love this. We made some updates to it. But I want to add a hotkey. Maybe it's the long hold press on the control shifts, whatever your hotkey is, and it will get the folder path instead of the file path, right? Or we just add a second hotkey, and the second hotkey does that. Or maybe after you get the hotkey on your clipboard, you could hit a separate hotkey and it would just trim the file, and then you'd have the folder path. But that'd be kind of weird and awkward. I hate two hotkeys that are connected to each other. This was the stuff that we updated during the hero call from Connie for everything. And we talked about the win set, which we recorded. I did an extract for that video. The win set, I forget what it was, but it affects the timing of all the win. There's a bunch of them, probably like 20 or so AutoHotkey commands that use this win set setting, which changes the speed of how long it waits after. It gives like a little short pause, like a sleep, a built-in sleep to the win activate, win, all these other. There's only like 2 it didn't affect. And so it was a great way to, if you're having timing issues, to basically let it slow it down just a hair, or however much you want. But if it's a timing issue, and if your computer's under a big load, you can easily adjust that. A lot of stuff in GetActivePath. Our notify class, it's a great class for sending notifications to the user. UIA, we did see that Nescalada had made some updates to the UIA, so we were incorporating that, and we need to update our Ultimate Spy library. Pack up. Oh, I think maybe that's what. Yeah, this is the actual version that I was mentioning earlier, which seems to be working pretty well. That we'll share that at some point, but again, it goes through and grabs all your includes for a given script and pushes it all into the clipboard together, which is really cool. I guess maybe as a save one during the hero call, although this isn't it, because that's short. It turned out to be, when you combine them all, it was like 10,000 lines with UIA. Social share, this is another one. AI tool. I'm gonna run it now. Let me bring over my taskbar, and I'll show you in the system tray, and then obviously I have a lot running right here. We go. So when I right click and I can say share with friend. Now I'm not loving this, but it has different buttons. I could click email and it would try to email someone, or I copy this link and it would copy the URL that's actually in there. We haven't adapted it to our scripts yet, but social media, it gives me options of Twitter, X, Facebook, LinkedIn, Reddit, and these work, so I can click this. And so AI wrote this tool for me, and it would automatically paste, the URL and whatever else we have here. So we're going to make it easier for our scripts to go viral, is the point. I was reading a book just talking in general about how they were trying to make it easier for people to share their company's info. And I'm like, yeah, we should have something built into our scripts. So in addition to, like here, we have these other system tray icons. Here, especially the open folder and intro video, that's handy. We should have a share with friend, right? So that's one we're going to incorporate that, which I think is really cool. And person had asked about on V1 how to Well, they commented on a video I did years ago on being able to play pause in V1, and I forget what issue they had, but they couldn't grab the script, so I redid it. Then they asked a follow-up question, but and again, V1 is horrible. Highly recommend you switch over to V2. Don't work in V1 anymore. There's no reason to still stay in V1, and AI is getting very, very good at converting V1 to V2. So we have a good course in that, by the way, when it comes to the double your money back guarantee, or use my son's birthday discount code I just sent out this weekend. I think it was 36% off. He just turned 18, and so he's an adult. But I made a double your money back guarantee. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you learned something here, please like the video. It really helps us out. And have a great day. Cheers.